What's up, guys? So today I thought I was going to do what Red Eagle did on his channel, which was to rank the 50 Republican senators after how good they are and probably how Trumpian they are, and it taking into account what state they are representing and all of that. So I've got this chart here. It is not perfect. I do for some reason have senators that are no longer in the Senate as of 2021, like Cory Gardner and Mike Enzi. But they, along with the people that I just don't know enough about, are all in the C tier to tell you that they are average enough, and I do not really care that much about them. So I'm going to start here with this list, and the first one we see is Marsha Blackburn. Marsha Blackburn out of Tennessee has been a very good senator, I think, and I'm going to put her in the A tier. Of course, cannot use a lot of time on each because there are plenty here. Next one is Ben Sasse. Ben Sasse has been a vocal critic of Trump. He voted to impeach him the second time. Not the first one, actually, which some people could be shocked of. He has always been very strong in his support for his Supreme Court justices. But overall, I'm going to, because of his anti-Trump stances, put him in the D tier. The thing is, yeah, I mean, it's okay and acceptable sometimes to don't like Trump, but that is not the way he is representing the state of Nebraska, which overwhelmingly votes for Trump. If he was from a swing state, it would be more understandable, but this is more personal for him. And now, Bill Cassidy also represents a very red state and has been, well, not that much of a critic of Trump, but he did vote to impeach, and I don't really see why we couldn't have a better Republican out of Louisiana, but still I'm going to be nice and also put him in the D tier, even though you could make the argument for that both of them should be in the F, but hey. Chuck Grassley has been in the Senate since he was elected in 1980, since 1981, and he has been a supporter of Trump, and he presided over the hearings of Gorsuch and Kavanaugh, but most importantly, he held that Senate seat for 40 years now. 40 years. And growing. And he has held that seat safe Republican in Iowa, which is a state that has voted Democratic for many of those elections on the presidential level. So for that reason alone, I'm going to put him in the A tier. Now, of course, this does not mean that he should run for president or anything. That's not what the A tier means. Of course, he's very old, so that wouldn't work. But it means that I believe he's doing a pretty good job. Now, next one is Cindy Hyde-Smith, which I also believe is doing a good job, but hasn't really been there long enough to build a record. I'm going to put her in the B tier. I think she's been good. Deb Fischer, I should have put her in the C tier already because I don't know much about her. She's quite anonymous. Now, James Lankford out of Oklahoma. He is sort of strong on things like pro-life stances, but I don't think he is very strong on other social issues. There could definitely be a much more Trumpian candidate out of Oklahoma. The other guy from there, Jimmy Inhofe, is definitely more Trumpian and more supportive of Trump. So I'm going to put Lankford. Let's see. I mean, yeah, I'm going to put him in the D tier. Even though the other people there have actually voted to impeach Trump, I feel that he is deserving. Jerry Moran out of Kansas. Another guy that I think could easily go to the C tier. I just don't have anything bad to say about him. Don't have much good to say about him either. Jim Inhofe out of Oklahoma going to the B tier. He has been quite strong on the important issues. There are some things that you can criticize, but really no. So John Cornyn in Texas. Now he of course won re-election by a substantial margin compared to Trump, who won there by 5.5%. So being electable, that's not always the thing that you should be judged on, but I think that he is doing a fine job. No, I'm going to put him in the top of the C tier. Now, John Thune out of South Dakota, he represents a very red state. He is sort of an establishment Republican, but he's been supportive of Trump most of the time. But most importantly, when he was first elected in 2004, he defeated the Democratic Senate leader, the Senate minority leader, Tom Daschle. And that alone is putting him in the B tier. He could have run for president in 2012 and probably won. But let's go on. The other senator out of the state of Iowa is Joni Ernst, which was elected in 2014 amidst a Tea Party wave. She is also very supportive of Trump. Yeah, okay, I'm going to be nice and put her in the bottom of the A tier. Josh Hawley, now he is the first one definitely going to the S tier. I don't think that needs a lot of explanation. He's Josh Hawley, he's great. He is, most importantly for my part, it is his fight against big tech and censorship and stuff like that. But he is a Trumpian patriot through and through. Lindsey Graham started off as a sort of neocon, John McCain-ish type, and even though he has kept that and also voted for some Biden nominees that I do not like, I think he is okay. He did a very good job with the hearings, with the justices, and he has been a sort of okay supporter, otherwise being a voice for a reason. Told everyone that enough is enough when the riot at the Capitol Hill happened. I'm going to put him in the B tier, because you have to tell people like Trump the truth, even if the truth is a harsh one. Now, Lisa Murkowski, I would like to put her in the bottom of the F tier, or give her another tier below that, but I'm not going to build another tier, and since there are no one else in the F tier, she is already on the top and the bottom, but I'm sure there will be more. Now, Mike Brown, I don't really like him that much. I mean, he has been a sort of... he has made excuses for Black Lives Matter, among others, so I don't think he's been that good. He has been supporting Trump, yeah, he's a businessman, outsider, all that, but meh. If you support Black Lives Matter, you're not going to reach very high here. So the D tier it is. Mike Crapo, he's the guy that withdrew the support from Trump in 2016 after Access Hollywood, like it would change the outcome. I'm going to put him in the D tier. Now Mike Lee, actually I like Mike Lee. He's a funny guy that makes a lot of comedic points, and yeah, I mean, there are better senators, but I'm going to put him in the B tier. He was a part of the Tea Party wave in 2010. Really ousted a establishment Republican neocon type. In Mitt Romney, we of course have the embodiment of the Republican establishment, and I'm not sure if I would... I mean, he lost the election of 2012 by it was supposed to be a 1-point margin, but he managed to lose by like 4, and it was a disappointment. He should have won more swing states. He only narrowly won North Carolina, which was already expected to go that way. But he has also been really much anti-Trump, and though I would have voted for him in 2012 if I could vote, I'm not going to be very kind to him. Voted to impeach Trump twice, so the good thing is that now Lisa Murkowski actually can be in the bottom of the F tier, because there are someone else there she can be below. Rick Scott out of Florida, he was a great governor, a very responsible governor, and someone who did the job well, like Ron DeSantis. But where does he belong? I'm going to put him in the A tier. Pat Toomey. Now, many people think about Pat Toomey as someone who, impeached Trump, doesn't like Trump, all of that. But you could not have a more conservative senator out of the state of Pennsylvania. It is a swing state, and when he first ran, people said he was way far to the right to actually win. So the fact that he managed to win there with Tea Party support, and actually not that narrow, but it was 2 points in 2010, that tells you that he did a phenomenal job in turning that race to the right and turning the state to the right. And I'm not going to be very mean to him just for voting to impeach Trump, when he has really been a quite strong senator in every other sense, and if there wasn't Trumpism, then he would be the embodiment of the America First patriotism, I think, because he is the Tea Party. And I'm going to put him in the B tier, actually. Many people would disagree because of the impeachment vote, but hey, I have to think about history, right? He first ran against Arlen Specter, which was an actual neocon, in 2004, and he managed to... Well, we lost a Rhino Republican and got a right-wing Tea Party Republican, so it was a good trade. Now, going to the state of Kentucky, Rand Paul is, of course, I'm going to say the projected winner. He's going to the A tier. He's doing a good job. Richard Burr out of North Carolina. Now, what has he done? He has done a good job in keeping otherwise toss-up seat sort of likely red during all his elections, even though people would argue that it was a toss-up back in 2016 and 2004. It was never a toss-up, he always had the edge. But he also voted to impeach Trump. So what are we going to do about that? I think we're going to be putting him in the seat here, really. Now, Richard Shelby out of the state of Alabama. He was a Democrat, switched parties, career politician, real swampy, doesn't get much things done. I think he's going to go to the D tier, and I'm going to put him in the top of the D tier. Because he is retiring, thank God, good riddance, let's get someone else in. So let's get Mo Brooks in. Now, Rob Portman in Ohio, he has been the senator from the swing state of Ohio. It was once a swing state, believe it or not, went to Obama in 2012. But it voted for Portman by like first say 17 points in 2010 and then 21 points in 2016. I mean, that was incredible victories. And he could basically send his money, his extra money, to other states because he didn't need them, and he helped get a lot of other Republican senators elected. So he really knows how to run a race. I think I'm going to put him in, let's see, the top of the B tier. Yeah, he's not that much of a Trumpian Republican, but he's done a very good job. You can call him establishment, and he probably is. Same. Ron Johnson out of Wisconsin, he has been awesome. If Ron DeSantis wasn't Big Ron, then Ron Johnson would be. I'm going to put him in the Esther, right next to Josh Hawley. Not number 1, but number 2. Roy Blunt, the swamp creature out of the state of Missouri. Well, everyone saw that when Josh Hawley won by quite a big margin in a blue wave year, and much bigger than Roy Blunt won with during a presidential race, that he hasn't really been that good for the people of Missouri. Yes, he had a very capable candidate in Jason Kander, who was more of a outsider, more of a Trumpian candidate, even though he was a Democrat. Roy Blunt is, however, retiring, and there is probably going to be someone else, like hopefully Jason Smith. So, yeah, I think the D tier is very fitting for Roy Blunt. Now, Dan Sullivan has actually been quite okay. Straight to the B tier. Joe Manchin. Yeah, what is Joe Manchin doing here? I think if he was going to be a Democrat, if I was to rate him for being a Democrat, it would be the S tier, of course, but I'm going to rate him out for being from a very, very, very red state. One of the reddest states in the Union as of now, and one of the most Trumpian states, and he voted to impeach Trump twice. So, if you compare Manchin with Republicans, D tier it is. Or I could create a own tier for him. Marco Rubio has actually been okay. He has been very strong on foreign policy. He has been a good critic of the Biden administration, telling them when something is wrong and not just telling them that everything they do is wrong. I think I'm going to put Rubio in, okay, the A tier. Many would disagree, but yeah. Okay, so McConnell, many people don't like him, and because he is the swamp. He is the embodiment of the swamp itself. But he did a very good job in getting those judges and justices confirmed. Very important, very important. So for the same reasons that many of the others are low, I could put him low, but then you have the judges and justices, so I'm going to put him actually in this C tier. Steve Daines, Montana, he's been great. Great enough for the B tier at least. Now Susan Collins of Maine, I don't think you can really get a more conservative senator out of Maine, because it is a fairly blue state. It's a blue leaning state. It went for Hillary narrowly, but it went for Biden by a bigger margin. Susan Collins did vote for Gorsuch and Kavanaugh, not Barrett. It was re-election, so hey. I mean, she actually held that seat for the Republicans in spite of extremely high sums of money being used to fund her opponent, Sarah Gideon. And yeah, she voted for impeachment, but I don't really care. I'm going to put in the B tier. Ted Cruz. Doing a fine job. A tier it is. Tim Scott, many people call him as SJW on social issues. I'm not sure. I think he is actually good at getting Trump more black votes, and he has been working there with communities and stuff. Of course, I'm actually against this notion that the Republicans should appeal even more to like women and minorities in the future, because they already have elected so many new members that are all women or minorities in 2020, and you cannot really abandon their core constituents, which are like white men. But I think Tim Scott has been great. Well, good enough. B tier. And John Kennedy out of Louisiana. John Kennedy is awesome. I'm going to put him in the A tier. He is probably one of the funniest senators, if I can say that. He has some really good comments. So here is the ratings. Tell me how you agree or disagree. I'm sure there's going to be fire in the comment section. But anyways, that's all I had for you guys today. Please like this video, please subscribe. It's the subscribe button, the red button down there. And I'll see you next time.